Hello, I am outside, so you may hear some noises. As I say that, there's a bird flapping in a palm tree that just started as soon as I hit record, or like a few seconds after. I just noticed some things as I'm outside and taking a walk. Yeah, I was actually just like crying a little bit. Nothing crazy, just shedding a few tears. And I just feel like there's, as I'm saying this, I see a beautiful, it's like I'm trying to see. It's an orange butterfly, but it's almost more like amber, if that makes, it's like a burnt orange or something. So amber could be, if you want to look up the spiritual meaning of amber or metaphysical meaning of amber, there could be a message for you. I actually have been seeing black and orange butterflies. This is the first time I'm seeing this like pure orange. So perhaps there's, and I was just shedding some tears. So perhaps there's this like purification of, like the womb space, the sacral area. Because the black and orange I've been seeing for days, and then after, so maybe there's someone here who just needs like a little bit of a cry, or some form of release in some way, and in case you need any validation or permission, not like permission from me, but just, you know what I mean, like sometimes I know crying can be looked at or perceived as weak, especially if you're more in like your masculine energy, regardless of sex. And I kept noticing pink flowers today. So pink flowers could be significant, especially in like the form of like a path. So as I was walking, I kept noticing these like, they must be falling off the trees. So like I was just seeing this like trail of pink flowers. It doesn't have to be pink, of course, but just especially pink. And as I noticed that, I saw two, like I've been at this park for a little while, and these two people have been here, but one of them like wasn't paying attention. She was just like on her phone the whole time. And all of a sudden she looked up and she realized that she knew the person, and they like reunited, and it was so cute, and they seemed so excited to see each other. So like, metaphorically speaking, you could have had your head down and not be paying attention to something. But I'm hearing like it was meant to be that way. Don't like, you don't have to like feel badly or anything. And then like all of a sudden you look up. So this could be a few things, like perhaps you might be running into someone soon, or like crossing paths with someone that you thought maybe you weren't going to. And if it's not a person, please like just apply it to your situation. And I just looked up into the tree, and I'm seeing, it's hard to tell. It looks like a red bird, but it could just be a leaf. So there could be also something that I just recorded the other day of an audio about clarity emergence. And today, I believe is August 7th. I haven't even looked at the date yet. So it's the day before, this 8/8 Lions portal. I know there's like a lot of buzz around that, so it's funny. I was about to say if you need to drown out the noise a little bit, and that car was like really noisy as I walked by. I know that these types of paths, if you will, can be a little bit, when I say these types of paths, like certain, online communities about some of these like cosmic portal gateways, for example, or like everything. I feel like there are kernels of truth, and then there's a lot of just noise and marketing. So just utilizing your discernment and what's best for you, I feel like seems to be really needed right now, including what I'm saying, if you're listening to this. So, and it's timeless. So if you find this, even when it's not this time period, it could just apply to wherever you are in your like current time space. It's funny, last night I was out with my friend and we were joking about like, what was I saying? Oh, I said it was 2025 and she's like, what are you talking about? It's 2024. And I was like, oh my God, like you're right. Like, I don't know. It's like, I must be here from the future. So I kept like making jokes about like coming back from the future. And there's an episode in How I Met Your Mother where they talk about time travel and one of the characters like comes back as an old man and like winks to his younger self and sends him wings. I don't know why that's coming up, but yeah, so perhaps there's like some sort of like wink or message from like a future version of yourself right now that's trying to send you something, especially if you're feeling a little unknown right now. And I also just made an audio this week or last week about unexpected changes, like things are really like that Uranus energy, Pluto, like unexpected changes. Pluto's like in the darkness, like feeling like you don't know the next step kind of thing. And even if you're not feeling that way, it could just be like I just heard like a contact. So you may be like about to or just have experienced some sort of whether it's astral contact or through your dreams or meditation or through just a knowing. Like you could just be doing something like walking or swimming or whatever, and you just have this like feeling of like almost like deja vu, but instead of deja vu, for a select few of you it could be deja vu, but if it's not particularly deja vu, it may be just like almost like you stop in your tracks and feel like time stands still for a moment. I don't know, I'm really getting that. So I'm just going to tune in a little bit deeper and see if there's like any specific theme that wants to be brought up. Okay, my apologies. I did pause, so if the cadence seems interrupted, that's why. There's I'm not sure if I already said this, but I was also in like a very short time, I saw a bunch of 7s and 8s, like repeating 7s, repeating 8s. There's also a yellow moth butterfly flying over my head right now. And I'm walking through this mural with all of these fish. It's like beautiful, like blues and greens, like aqua. So there could be, when I'm seeing something, it says dark star on a boat. So there could be this like Piscean influence right now. Like perhaps you feel like it's really hard to focus or concentrate. Maybe you feel a bit dreamy. If you're into astrological transits, you can check your Pisces transits if there are any. Or perhaps there's a message from your natal Pisces placement if you have that. There's something about when Pisces transits your lunar sign, your moon sign. So that could be relevant for someone. It could be a natal placement, but I'm getting more as a transit placement. I guess like take a double if you have a Pisces moon, but that won't be for everyone. So, and Neptune, I'm seeing Neptune rules Pisces, so there's something about the archetype of Neptune. And right when I paused, there was a trash truck that came, and it has like a, one of those like robotic arms that like picks up the trash and dumps it in, which I have to say, I don't know if I've seen that before, maybe once. So there's something about, and then I was walking by something that said like private road. It said like tropical private road. Yeah, so this feels like it's for someone who is taking what seems like and emphasize what seems like the slow, I'm seeing 7-7 right now, the slow dark path. B, G, N, H, L, any of those initials can be relevant, and J. Yeah, I keep hearing the slow dark path. But along that way, you may feel these like pops of presence, like even though there's been this what feels like slow dark pathway, that saying the road less traveled, there's still these like pops of like present moments and presence that like I'm seeing someone just like tear up in just like feeling, like just such a deeper feeling. And perhaps if you maybe were not on that type of seemingly slower dark path, it could easily be missed. And there's something about, again, back to the womb, like the creation space from there. Like the more you embrace those moments, which I feel like if you're listening to this, you already are doing that or starting to, there's this like new creative potential that blossoms. And the dark doesn't last forever. It brings in that illumination, or that lighting up that pathway, one step at a time type of thing. And this future, if you will, aspect. I know when we get into the non-linear spaces, like future, past, and present is really just kind of simultaneous. But for the sake of this transmission, we will use the word future. Coming in to sort of like shine some light on, I just saw Anne's Florist. So yeah, flowers really seem significant in some way. And that's a really cute cafe. The truck for this cafe that I like just drove by. So maybe you're just being called to or maybe you're already doing this. Maybe you're at a cafe when you're listening to this, or maybe you're being called to just sit in a cafe. I'm hearing I do my best, dreaming and thinking. So, and I'm seeing someone with I just heard lily pad. I don't know, that could be for someone. But, almost like a pad and a paper, making a note. You can use your computer, of course, but I am seeing someone something about ink to paper or pencil to paper. There's something about list making. So perhaps you really enjoy making lists, or for each one of you it'll be different, but I'm hearing non-linear lists. I know my friend makes lists in these, it's not just bullet point, and I'm like that too. And I know there are some software or whatever you want to call it, websites that will provide unique and non-linear ways of collecting ideas. So yeah, that could be for someone. There's something about connecting with a father figure. It could be your actual father, a birth father, stepfather, grandfather, but there's something there. I just saw I keep getting winks, someone's winking at you. So whether they're on this plane or not, whoever this is, I'm hearing the first one that pops in your head. That's the person. I just saw a Corvette, and Corvettes very deeply remind me of my own father, and I've been feeling father energy for the last few days, and I knew there was a message that wanted to come through with that. And now I'm seeing 4-4. So yeah, there's something about, this is so, I would never normally say this, but I literally heard a wink from heaven. So when I say that, oh my God, yesterday I could not stop singing the song from Belinda Carlisle, Heaven is a Place on Earth. So yeah, it's not necessarily anything outside. I mean, it could be, but something that you are creating here. And there's just like a wink, like it may not feel like it, like there could be just like a moment where things feel like they're just falling apart. But you know that saying, it falls apart to come back to get together again in a better way. That's what I'm seeing. And I'm just walking by the sign right now that says faith, hope, and love. So look at that. And then it says not dictatorship, not fear, not hate, not lies. I mean, look, we're on the earth plane. Those things happen. So whoever's listening to this, I feel like you are someone who can handle those things with, you know, with grace and not with escapism or toxic positivity, if you will. Like, I know I've gone through phases where like I just like couldn't. I'm seeing a rainbow flag right now as I walk by. You know, like I've just needed to like really hermit and not be around things. And then there's times where I feel called to like be more, you know, amongst the public, if you will, or whatever you want to say. So you could be someone who also experiences those types of feelings. And if so, there's something about just like really honoring your own intuitive connection to that. And of course, like I always say, to take self-inventory, like judgment card and tarot, like self-honesty, and really like really assess each situation with sometimes like taking a step back. Very loud truck. Okay, well, I'm entering a place where it's getting a little too loud. I think it will compromise the integrity of the audio, so I suppose this is just a more short, simple transmission that wanted to come through. So thank you so much for listening. And yeah, I mean, I feel like there's just one more thing. I'm walking. It's funny, I just turned around to walk backwards, and I realized when I was checking my natal chart the other day, I mean my transits, not my natal chart, my transits in astrology. I don't know why astrology is coming up so much, but whatever, you know, divinatory map you use, even if it's not something external, I actually usually just tune in now, but I was guided to look, and now I know why. There were like 4 or 5 planets transiting in retrograde. And if you don't know what that means, you can look it up. But the retrograde aspect, and I literally just like when I walk backwards, another trash truck, maybe it's trash day wherever you are, I don't know. And then as soon as I paused, a black and yellow butterfly started to flint around my head. So I was saying about retrograde. Yeah, so whenever you're hearing this, it could just be, I'm hearing temporary pause. So there could just be something like take a little breather if you can, even if it's just, 20 minutes, whatever you can, and just kind of like sit with whatever's happening, even if it feels a little unknown and overwhelming and a little scary. And just, if you're someone who likes to tune into your breath or whatever helps you to sort of just recenter. I'm hearing like waiting it out. So yeah, there's a call of the retreat, even if it's just a super quick one, to let something sort of be shown to you. I'm not saying not to take action ever, but there is something about like the inspired action is going to pop up. Like if you don't feel it right now, there's a reason for that. And honestly, this is for myself too. There's a decision that I need to make by the end of the week, and I still don't know the answer truly. I mean, I do on some level, but like, and that's, yeah, I was just doing that myself. I went to a park, and as I'm saying that, there's a really beautiful gray cat that's walking up to me. Hi. Oh, it's licking my feet, or about to. Oh, it has a collar. Good, it's not a stray. Hi, cutie. Oh, interesting. So I kept seeing black cats, like so many black cats. Now this one's gray. It has the most beautiful eyes. So cats could be relevant, but there's something about a council, that message has been wanting to come through for like a few weeks, and I haven't brought it through yet. I know that I'm very hesitant to talk about these things. So when I say counsel, it could be like a counsel in your everyday life, or if you're someone who's starting to, or has been connecting with some sort of like etheric counsel, or, understanding these different layers of connection that we can start to remember. I'm hearing like take it slow, and I'm just going to quiet my mind for a second. Okay, I haven't done this in a while, but I'm hearing it's kind of a joke. Like whenever I would tune in and do like a guided meditation or something, I would do this thing like that would come through as like a roll call, because, so many different people feel connected to these, different collectives. And yeah, I would hear like roll call, and then I would just bring through the collectives that I felt were with us. So I'm hearing the Venusian. You may feel connected to the Venusian. Now, with these like councils of light that come through, if you will, there's so much distortion. So that's why I'm very hesitant, and I just want to, just keep that in mind. So many trash trucks. So there could be something here about like, my mom would always say this phrase that cracks me up, because she says it so much. I honestly don't even think I can relay it in the proper format. I don't remember, but it's something like, don't go picking other people's trash, like keep it in your own yard. I don't know, I butchered it, but it's something like that. So perhaps like you've been really like, or you're being called to maybe like take out any trash like in your life. And I'm not calling anyone trash. I mean like anything in your field or in your vicinity, in your space, whatever, that feels like it needs a declutter. People, places, things. And again, not that people are trash, but I mean like that energy of feeling like you're holding other people's stuff. Perhaps there's like a dump needed in some way. I don't know if you heard that horn. That feels like a nice clarification. I meant to say confirmation. So maybe here someone just asked for clarification on something. Let me see what that is. The councils. I'm hearing, what about the councils? Okay. Oh yeah, the roll call. So let's see. I heard Venusian. Aquafarian race lines I'm hearing. My apologies. There is so much noise right now all of a sudden. Ptah. The song Afternoon Delight just popped in my head. So maybe someone here is daydreaming or fantasizing about like intimacy or sex or something, because I just like, it's funny, I was like deep in concentration and all of a sudden I heard that. So that could be someone here, or a few people. Maybe you're like just having these waves of fantasizing that you're like, whoa, where's that coming from? Again, because there's that cleansing of the sacral, and then when the black and blue, I almost said black and blue, black and yellow butterfly came through, it was like, the solar is the masculine energy, and then the sacral is more of the feminine polarity. So there could be this like coming together of that internally that's perhaps bringing in an external aspect. For each of you, it will be different. It could show up in another person, taking action on a project, that inspired action finally coming through. Maybe both for some of you. Okay, councils. So there's another, I'm hearing fine-tuning. So perhaps someone here is having trouble. Like maybe you feel like there's I'm hearing the jinn, actually. I'm going to do a separate thing on the jinn. I was feeling that last night. I know there's a lot of fear around the jinn, but I was hearing that. yeah, now I'm hearing like Arabian Nights. So there's something about fine-tuning your dial, and if you feel like you are starting to connect, and it doesn't have to necessarily be with a council, but just the idea of connecting deeper within yourself. And if, again, there's so much noise, so if there's like a little too much noise, there's something about working with fine-tuning your own frequency dial, kind of like a radio, when like if you're ever driving in with the old school radio, and all of a sudden you're driving and you hear like static noise, and you're like, ugh, and you're having a hard time like finding a signal. You can even utilize that as a practice to tune your own energy field. Visualize a dial. It can look like whatever you want, or as futuristic or old school. Have fun with it, and start to like play with your own frequency, and like start to move that dial around. And if that's something you're already doing, then I'm hearing it may take a little time to adapt, but for some of you it may work pretty quickly, and there's no right or wrong, of course. And it could depend on outside circumstances or where you are, or if you're a woman, your hormonal cycle. There are many factors to tune into, so try to be easy on yourself. Let me see. I'm seeing like a Palladian, Syrian, Lyran like thread. So there could be like a braiding of multiple aspects. I'm hearing the Yael. I don't know if I said it in Andromeda Galaxy, but I'm hearing that again. I know I heard it before, but I don't remember if I said it. There are like many more coming through, but I don't think I'm going to... Okay, Orion. I'm hearing Orion. So Mintanka is part of Orion. Analtech, also part of Orion. So yeah, there are... Each of you are going to feel pulled to different ones. Yeah, so feel free to comment if you want to like go deeper with any of them. I'm seeing another ambery orange butterfly. Oh, I made an audio the other day about Scorpius, the butterfly cluster. So you could maybe feel pulled to that, or maybe you already listened to it. And for very few of you, there could just be like a more astronomy angle that you're interested in. Maybe not so much like the beings, but like looking more into astronomy and the constellations themselves, and understanding like the mythos. So there could be a pull there as well. And I'm hearing I just heard molecular gastronomy. So that could be for someone, perhaps you're interested in that, or you work with that, or you're wanting to learn more about it. Yeah, I'm seeing like the foam, like ice cream foam. There's like how they serve dishes with like a lot of foam. I don't know why I'm seeing that, but I am. I'm like surrounded by butterflies right now, orange and yellow. So yeah, there's something about this beautiful, like, I know it's been, if you're listening to this, it may have been, feeling quite tough. I'm seeing them like looking back at the whole thing, and it's like, was this for nothing? Am I crazy? Like, there could just be a little bit of doubt or like self-gaslighting that's coming up, and it's so natural and it's okay. Yeah, but if this found you, then I really do feel like and hope that this is not all just for nothing, and there's something to this, and there's so many of us who are remembering and starting to connect deeper. And so yeah, just heard like take a nice breath, and whatever these collective new creations from integrating those two centers, the solar and sacral, into the sacral plexus. So it's like the meeting point. There's I don't know if anyone's heard of this, but there might be multiple names for it, but I call it the sacral plexus. So it's like in between where those centers are on the body, in the middle. And when that's awakened, there's like, it's to me, it's always like this beautiful peach color. So peaches could be relevant in some way, looking up peach symbolism, working with the color hues of peach. Like a nectarine. I'm seeing a nectarine peach. Anyway, so there's like the joining of those two centers, and that takes a little time, it takes time to integrate and to remember, and again to remove those layers that have been like the karma miasma, as we call it, and just to tune that dial and continue working until you find that frequency pitch. And it's not always going to be the same, so it takes being flexible and present. But yeah, so really that's what I'm seeing, just a coming online of the sacral plexus. And from that, there's the newness that's born, like a new consciousness, because when you join together these aspects, there's new pathways that open, and it's a little dark because it's not realized yet, or at least not fully. So, okay, I'm officially ending it now. And yeah, like I said, please feel free to comment and share anything that came up for you. And if there's anything you'd like to hear and go deeper with, I'd love to hear what spoke to you. And I'll do my best to work with that and see. Okay, well, I hope you get to do something really lovely for yourself, and thank you so much.